Okay, I'll call this regular council meeting of 2013-11-26 to order, and approval of the agenda as amended. Moved by Councilor Leaflet, second by Councilor Lang. So that would be 9C. Will be road closure. Discussion. All in favor? Motion passes. And adoption of the regular minutes of 2013-11-12. Motion to approve. No amendments? Well, it says motion to approve or approve with amendments.
Basically, if there's anything we take issue.
There was no amendment. That's right.
I did have to use some imagination of the IUJ presentation.
Okay. Well, that's good because they use lots of imagination in their presentation styles. Okay, and 2B, Committee of the Whole Finance 2013-11-19. Moved by Councilor Hewitt, second by Councilor Lang. Discussion. All in favor? Motion passes. And the administrator's foreman's, how are we going to say this?
Administrator's report.
The administrator's report, we'll move to that so Glenn can make his report.
So Glenn's public works is the first one.
Not very much actually this time around. The Campbell basement is now ready for those guys, I believe. Done quite a bit of work down there, cleaned it all up, painted the floor, got rid of a lot of stuff. So hopefully it's good enough for them. The burn pile at the airport is being burned now. We had to wait for the venting and such. The campground has got some trees, some cottonwoods that they would like taking down. There's 2 or 3. And they're not real big ones. But Tricia's concerned about them with campers.
What?
She's worried about campers being right under them. And there has been limbs falling off these things. So if they're not on the removal list.
They're not on the what?
Removal list. So that's why I'm bringing them here.
Do they have a number? Do they have a little tag
They
on
do
it?
have tags on them. They have been assessed. They're not deemed unsafe. But just the nature of cottonwoods,
Yeah.
the limbs break off. So she's concerned. I don't really have an opinion one way or another. We'll certainly take them out if you guys want us to. It could be a safety concern.
Councilor Hall.
The trees aren't in the campground though.
Yes, they are.
Oh, they're in the campground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like on the Green Road and campground.
On the campground side of the road.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Councilor Lang.
I'll put a motion forward to have them removed if they presented a danger.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Motion passes.
That's all I have. We're getting ready for winter. Santa's on the truck because we've been expecting snow and ice for a week now, so we have to get ready. So it limits what we can do with other things, not having an out truck. But we're ready.
I just asked, how's the dam doing? Is there ice building up there? Is that an
It's
issue?
all, our flows are fine. We had some concerns a couple of days ago. The brake tank was really low. It seems to have recovered. I'm not sure why this sort of happens. The dam itself is looking good. It actually made it through last winter good, and it's looking like it'll be fine this year.
And what about flow from the springs?
It's steady.
Steady. Okay. Any other questions? Councilor Leaflet?
I just wondered if there were any leaking problems at the city hall this year, like what you guys did last week. They will fix that problem.
Seem to. I hate to guarantee anything.
Okay,
We haven't had any torrential rains either, so that's good.
No, that's what I'm a little bit reluctant to say for sure.
Yeah.
Because we thought we'd fixed it before and we hadn't. I mean, the foundation of that building is basically boulders. It's a very, very poor concrete foundation. It's porous. And
Which side of the building is it coming in on?
It was coming in kind of in that back corner.
So we did line it.
I know you did from like the stairs forward.
Yes.
And it was right around the stairs
Right.
that it was leaking in this last time. Which we never dug that up through any of this construction over the last few years. So with the eavesdropping on there and everything, I'm hoping that everything's good now.
This time on.
Councillor Leafwood?
And the heating in the kennel, any problems with that this year yet? Because we had some last year.
We did, and we've been trying to get somebody, and he keeps putting us off, and we're going to try to get somebody else. It's working fine, but there's issues with it.
Right.
It has never worked anything like the one. City Hall's run trouble-free from the moment it was put in. This one has been grief ever since it was put in. And I think we really got a second-rate product on this one.
So we would just continue to monitor it then, or?
No, I'm trying to get somebody else in. I don't want to, the one contractor that I had actually did City Hall, I've been trying to get in here, but.
So it's worth waiting until that person,
Well, I don't know who else is good at it, and I know he's good at it.
okay,
So I've been trying to get him, but he keeps putting us off.
okay,
Busy time of year for them.
okay. Anything else for the foreman? You're free to go. Thank you.
Thanks for coming out this late at night.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not repeating anything that I reported there. We are looking at some minor improvements in this room, perhaps, and elsewhere in the building, pertaining to heating and some minor electrical. I'm particularly hoping that we can make this area and the room next door particularly useful for broadband connectivity next year. Aerodrome, the local airport group has submitted to me a draft document for council to review at a future committee of the whole meeting. I'm going to hold that back until we've got the report from EPA Consulting for you to review in camera on the risk and liability assessment at the airport, but that should be coming quite soon. We had a good sit down with Sean Sutherland, and I think a number of questions we've been agonising over about issues that will be answered. He seems very capable. Research has indicated that Creston Airport is partially supported by a sub-regional taxation acquisition service at the RDCK. Raises approximately $40,000 per annum. The municipality and 2 electrometers participate. Winter in the Forest Festival. This is apparently an annual January-February festival that is organised by the Community Forest. Apparently 300 to 400 people attended last year. They requested that council allow use of the aerodrome and lands for the event in February. Recommendation modified by the mayors with the planners.
Recommendation.
Moved by Councillor Leafwood, second by Councillor Hewitt. Discussion? All in favor? Motion passes.
Important dates, basically, don't forget, tomorrow evening's our BC discussion. Despite recent announcements, there is still something of substance to discuss. Committee of the whole at 7 p.m. on December 3rd, December 10th, the regular meeting, December 17th, Committee of the whole Finance Council wishes that to be held. The second regular meeting would be 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. I would need a resolution to cancel that meeting, assuming that you don't want to be there.
Moved by Councillor Hewitt,
Meeting be cancelled.
I'll second.
second by Councillor Leafwood. Discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. I have been talking an awful lot about this MMBC. It's almost like dealing with interior health. And anyway, it's the hospital board meeting tomorrow, so I will not be in attendance, but I have full confidence in whatever decisions council would make on this issue. There seems to be a lot of confusion, and maybe when we get to reports, Councillor Holland give
A
us some,
little bit.
yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know what's happened with the east end of the airport and a whole bunch of other things. Okay. Anything else?
And item B, 4B, project list update. I've received, I think, 3 sets of priorities from you. If there's time tomorrow, we could certainly have a discussion over some of the priorities that you've selected, or that can be referred to committee of the whole in January if you like. But that's just underway, and that's the current updated list that we've got in front of you.
Okay. So we have nothing more then. Anything more? No. Okay, moving on to correspondence. 5. I'm trying to get 5 correspondence. So have councillors had a chance to read and understand this?
Receipt.
Moved by Councillor Hewitt for receipt. Second by Councillor Leithwood. Discussion. All in favor? Motion passes. Or, let me see.
Yeah. So then the actions that are in the letter, do we need to just, they're just gonna happen?
No, you need to adopt the plan
Oh, okay.
and then submit it for review to the Ministry of Environment. Until last week, I'd unfortunately also been under the impression that we've gotten beyond stage 1, but no, we haven't. Council has to formally adopt that plan by resolution.
Is there any reason we couldn't do that tonight? Is the councillor comfortable in making that resolution?
Do we have to choose an option before going
You
through
know, you're
that?
just adopting the plan.
Just adopting. That allows us to start to
Yeah.
circulate the plan. Moved by Councillor Lang, second by Councillor Holland. Discussion, all in favor? Motion passes. Thank you, council. You know, it just, the machinations of going through this is, anyway, we're moving ahead, that's the important thing. Okay, and communication information.
I'll move for receipt.
Second.
Moved by Councillor Leithwood, second by Councillor Lang. A very interesting amount of material.
Yeah, I read most of it. It was,
Yeah.
it was a bit daunting, actually. Especially the Port Coquitlam or Burnaby.
Any further discussion coming out of that? All in favor? Motion passes. Committee and staff reports. I did something wrong here. It's thinking.
Big file, but it's okay.
Yeah, okay, so now I'm going to go down to regular. Let's see. Four here.
I'm sorry, how it goes. So where were you trying to get to?
To the council with the hyperlink. I have a whole bunch of other ones open, right?
That's probably the wrong, that's a joke.
Close it.
I am.
Good.
Just as you do have, like.
I don't know, I keep hitting them to close them, but it doesn't seem to close. I'm working on it.
I told him. That's probably why it doesn't want to work.
Where do you click to close those?
The little X.
Okay, well, I hit the little X's and I thought they disappeared, but obviously maybe
It's one of those things you want to work for, you know? Seriously.
that's why the error message is coming up, I guess. Eh? So let me see.
Well, just one here,
Okay.
we've got that open a few times. Yeah. That.
Okay, so just look, so this little X here closes this one here.
Yeah, so now you've only got that open.
This is all on camera.
There you go.
Thank you, Counselor. Oh,
Must have been 15 things open. I've never seen that one.
so we are
So,
7A, staff report. 6 resolutions recommended.
these are resolutions from the Committee of the Whole Finance Committee last week.
Can you move them all up?
If you want.
As a block.
I'll move the 6 resolutions as a block.
Is there a second there? Second by Counselor Hubert. Discussion, Counselor Lane.
Just looking for an update on the Castle River intake project.
I have an email in my inbox. It has been a rather sluggish start, so we've been after it. Hopefully that will be set up soon.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. Okay. So where are we at? Staff report, Health Committee draft terms of reference.
Yes, I think given the in-camera earlier, this is a little bit of a moot point now, but I just gave him, I drafted for the health group a first roll of the dice in terms of putting one together based on another health network I was familiar with. Several iterations are being knocked backwards and forwards, and if we can get to one that all parties can live with, bring the final version to council for approval and appointment on December 10th.
I'll move for receipt.
Second by Councilor Lane. All in favor? Motion passes. Staff report, job control and ticketing changes.
Just a reintroduction. I was working on this last week. This is a little bit of a hangover from the Municipal Services Committee, but we were to move forward on it nonetheless. The job control and ticketing changes. Now, just as an observation, to do a broader job on bylaw enforcement is going to require a little bit more effort and a little bit more consultation, but to make municipal ticketing workable, to make the animal control system workable, this is the 2 bylaws I put forward with the basics, basic work that we, the council needs to do. I have made a few practical, at least I suggest changes to some of the fine levels. Some were extremely high. And I was quite concerned that if these tickets were to be issued with those amounts, there would be wide-scale non-payment. So I've tried to bring them into a reasonable area where they still act as a deterrent, hopefully, as a schedule. Now, in the previous iteration of ticketing, only a small number of offences were in the ticketing bylaw. In the dog control bylaw itself, there was a large number of offences. So the draft bylaws you've got before you represent all the offences being ticketable now.
Interesting though.
Mine's
did
seen
too.
that too.
Yeah, well, that's the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah, I just went,
Mine's happened a couple of times.
Is it-
Can you have to log in again?
I'm not the only one that has
No, that's not.
challenges.
Okay. Interesting.
oh, came back.
I had something come up and it said cancel, so I hit cancel, and then my screen came back again. Okay, so a motion to receive. Moved by Councilor Lang, second by Councilor Hewitt. Discussion, all in favor, motion passes. RDCK Director's Report, verbal.
Yeah, so busy week, board met on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Wednesday, we started off with a Rules Affairs Committee meeting, and then went into discussing a couple other issues around community services, and there was a brief discussion about some of the resource recovery between the different waste areas, and it was stated then, it's not really specific, but just for your information, that the Kaslo transfer station reconfiguration has been scheduled for 2015 as needed. The Regional Environmental Services, there was a sustainability committee or sustainability service, and there was 6 or 7 directors served notice of withdrawing from the service, and a little bit of discussion around that, and what it came up to was that the municipalities, in order to opt out, they have to write a letter. They tried to opt out at that board meeting, and then there's 24 months, so it takes 24 months notice, so the earliest that anybody's going to get out is only 2015. That was basically what came out of that. There's one bit of interesting stuff in there that could have an impact on some of our local lumber mills. There's a lobbying effort going on to more formalize the use of non-stamped lumber, ungraded lumber in construction, for probably specifically around residential. And it's all in the planning stages right now, but what it might go to is possibly there'll be some sort of certification by a sawmill, where they, if the owner or the principal goes and gets a grading ticket, lumber grader, then they can issue a letter stating that the lumber purchased meets the minimum grade. So that could help some of our smaller mills if that goes forward. That can run real first. So on Wednesday, it was mostly a in-camera meeting, and there was not much that I can discuss now, and there wasn't really anything already reported earlier around that. On Friday, one of the main things that came up that was interesting was the flood hazard mapping. Went through that in detail. Basically, the board's passed a resolution asking that staff develop a RFP and bring it back to the regional district with that will have more specifics. There's no budget indication for anything on that right now. And a motion was passed to support the continuation of the agricultural land reserve and the agricultural land commission. Any changes to be in concert with the public consultation. I believe I sent these notes around to the board already, but you've already seen this stuff. So what I've got is some paper to pass along. First thing is the memorandum. Now, so there was a report from Yuli Wolf on the packaging and printed paper program update. The regional district is opting in. They've opted into the depot program within NBC. Basically, it was sort of described a little bit of an opinion. They had a gun held over their head. It wasn't like it was really a free choice as the way things. So anyway, I'll pass this on to the CAO. He might want to peruse that. If I hadn't already sent to you, I'm going to. I did also send you guys the report, the staff report on the flood hazard mapping thing. I think you saw that in depth. The other thing that was done that was part of the session was there was a business plan workshop. I think this should just be left in my box up there. But each department did a report, and they did an excellent job. So if you ever want to know what community services manager does, you've got about 2 or 3 pages that lays out the goals, priorities for all the way up until the 5-year planning. It's really, I mean, it's a thick thing, but you could sort of pick on a service department down there, if you want to, you can read what's going on in that department pretty quick, or get through the whole thing. So I think we'll just leave that in my box, and you guys can help yourself out to it.
And that was a business plan exercise then? Yes. Okay. Just-
And each manager, each department
Yeah.
manager made a real concise report, and the CAO kind of formatted them out to where they all reported kind of in the same format.
Yeah, so it's
Same
consistent
Yeah,
methodology.
so it's really good done. I mean, it's what kind of pleasure to do. I learned a lot more about the regional district than I ever knew, actually. It was good. And this is just the agenda from a paper copy, and I can sit down there and go over it if you guys need that. That was it.
Can I just ask, so the transfer station is going to stay at the west end, is that correct?
Any reconfiguration will be reviewed as targeted for 2015. So I'd say yes, till 2015. In 2015, I guess they'll kick it around. I've got a resource recovery meeting on Thursday, so I'll find out a lot more on Thursday. This is kind of said in more of the open general board meetings. They weren't too specific. They're just, as what I did is I extracted that from the department, from the Yuli's department, environment, where it was, he had his timelines laid out there, and I just pulled that little line out where he said he's referring out to 2015 and pulled it out, so I mentioned to you guys that it's in there. And it's not specific, it's part of his global picture of his department, right? I'll find out more.
And central waste.
Yeah.
Because they changed their mind about maintaining the depots, is that my understanding?
The regional district is opt-in to the depot program.
So every depot they've got now is going to, so ours will stay?
No, I believe they have 26 depots, and I believe under the plan they're going to be up to like 15 or 17 or something like that.
So when would we know about our depot?
Well, I mean, I think we're probably in pretty good shape because just our physical location. It's places that might be more questionable would be down in more densely populated area, because there's a radius of these things, right? So the ones that are close together, like maybe between the quarter between Castlegar and Nelson, or they'll be, that's where the closures will be. I think Castle's probably okay. I don't know what will happen here at Marblehead. That might be a lot of it, And it's still, I mean, you could read it, but it's still really, really up in the air. I mean, so I did go to the meeting, the MMDC consultation in Castlegar, and learned nothing. Except more confusion. And it was, and the woman who is actually one of the lead administrators rolling this thing out was there, and I was surprised how many times we were asking plain questions that we've been talking about for months. And her reply was, and they're doing visiting 9 communities around the province. They've already done. We were the 7th, and I don't know how many times the reply was, "Well, we haven't had that question yet." Okay. You had to wonder.
Okay.
So anyway, didn't learn anything. Worth reporting at that anyway. Sorry, it was a bit of a waste of that just now.
Well, I don't think it was wasted because we
Well,
learned that they really don't know what the heck
No,
they're
they're
doing.
really struggling. They're really,
Yeah.
and I see that the what's driving the boat right now, I think, is actually the stewards, or the
Stewardship.
The stewardship, yeah. Those guys are really driving the boat, and it's the more the corporate interests are in there kind of calling the shots, and there hasn't been much planning from there out, from the provincial side towards us. It's sort of like the province went, "Oh wow, these stewardships don't take care of it. Good, here you go."
Yeah.
And there's not much planning, not much in-depth planning.
Was there any reference to the UBCM committee that had 90 days to try and resolve some of the outstanding issues?
No.
So that's still ongoing from UBCM?
I'm not really sure.
They have provided a news release from that committee. I'll provide it tomorrow. However, it's really just a summary of some interesting facts you might want to have before you take your decision. So it's not There's no indication of immediate change.
So I guess if anything coming out of the MNBC stuff is, I guess we want to be looking at reevaluating our adoption of the depot component.
It's in my report for tomorrow.
Okay. Can we move on to the eights?
Move E.
Oh yeah, community forest report.
Move for C.
Any further discussion? I thought it was a very well done report, actually. It really allows us to understand the things they're doing and, you know, the processes they're going through. Any further discussion?
I've always been pleased with the reports
Yeah.
we've gotten.
Any further discussion? Call a question, all in favor, motion passes. On to bylaws.
I'll move that bylaw 1146 to amend the waterworks bylaw be read the first time by content.
Sorry.
All in favor?
I'll move it.
Go ahead.
I'll second.
Passes.
No, we were just, I was waiting for us to
People don't
hold
put
our
their
hands
hands
up
up.
at the same time.
God, I'm
I think
gonna
we
get-
were
Yeah,
up
I'm
and down
gonna
at
get
different
4
times.
chords, and I'm gonna, okay. So, and that it be read a second. Did somebody want to?
I'll move that bylaw 1146 be read a second and third time by title.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Leithwood, second by Councilor Hewitt. Discussion, all in favor? Hands up. There you go. Jim, that isn't a hand up. Okay, bylaw 1147.
I'll move that bylaw 1147 be read the first time by content.
Second.
Second by Councilor Hewitt. Discussion, all in favor? Motion passes. Very good. That was a little higher, Jim. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Move that bylaw 1147 be read a second and third time by title.
Second.
second by Councilor Hewitt. Discussion, all in favor? Motion passes. And
Bylaw 1148 be read the first time by content.
moved by Councilor Hewitt,
Second.
second by Councilor Leithwood. Discussion, all in favor? Motion passes.
I'll move that bylaw 1148 be read second and third time by title.
Second.
All in favor? Now, could we have passed those by a block? I think you gotta read each
No, you
one.
need to.
Yeah.
Those one you gotta
No,
read.
it's not creating motions, the resolution.
So, moving on to new business, 9A.
So we don't have to do anything.
Nothing happens on this until December 10th.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Suggested letter to the Minister of Health. Where is that?
It's on, no, it's basically your draft, the 2012 letter that's on the system there.
Okay.
That's freezing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Yeah.
Weird, that's the first time we
Yeah.
actually had problems with one.
Is it for upfront?
No, it's Jan's computers.
Were you spying on us?
Mine
She's over there watching Netflix and such.
I had read it.
Well, the letter I read was the letter from years ago.
Yes,
Yeah,
So we're not sending that again.
just an updated
No,
one. that
it's
says-
that your suggestion was that it would be updated for Minister Lake.
yes.
Essentially the same content with updating dates.
Yeah, because we wanted a
Right.
2-year moratorium, and we're requesting once again a 2-year moratorium. You know, we finished the first year,
Okay, so
because we asked for a 2-year moratorium.
Okay, I'll move.
Moved by Councilor Leith, second by Councilor Lang. Discussion, all in favor? Okay, motion passes. And what's that?
nothing lost over.
Yeah, it's not working.
Right. So,
Staff received this on Friday, I believe. Usually 30 days is required, but we're running out of time for them. It's a resolution.
So they're requesting the usual street closure from 4 o'clock till 8 o'clock, is it?
To 8 p.m.
Yeah. And also permission to have the fire in the lot at the corner of 4th Street and Front Street.
You don't need a resolution for the fire on that.
Not the fire on that.
It's just
Oh, okay.
street closure.
All right. A motion to allow the street closure.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor, motion passes. And accounts payable? Oh, okay. Accounts,
Maybe you're not even being able to open it?
mine's open.
Well, I can open it, but mine just keeps glitching out.
I can't open it.
Just sits there.
Thank God. I got a paper copy of the agenda in my box, and I thank, yeah, and I'm gonna have one.
Fine.
What's that?
Mine's working fine.
Really?
Mine just keeps.
Anyway, so it's $42,684.39. Moved by Councilor Leithwood, second by Councilor Hewitt. Discussion, all in favor, motion passes. And the financial report,
There's nothing there. It's-
nothing there this time. Motion for adjournment, moved by Councilor Hewitt. Second by Councilor Knight.
Was notice of motion not in the agenda?
Yeah. We didn't need to do anything.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I must have been reading something at that time. Okay,
All in favor?